We're 2/3 of the way through the day. Welcome back to the International 3 group stages, the preliminary rounds. I keep on wanting to say qualifiers, man. What's wrong with me?
Qualifiers are done. They've been long over.
Navi versus Zenith. These teams did not have to qualify. They got the invites. Two of the more interesting teams in the tournament. Creative picks, fan favorites from Russia or Eastern Europe as well as Asia, respectively. Should be an exciting match. Best of 2. Game 1's actually already underway, so we'll try and run through these player introductions quickly.
All right. And on the side of Navi, the fan favorites of Europe, I would say. Havos, position 1, and his strength as a carry is debatable. Just ask Lumi.
I mean, what we know about Havost is that regardless of whether you think his style is the best or not, it suits Navi. They want to take these mid-game aggressive
It's different than the Eastern carries, for sure.
It's not better or worse in and of itself. It's just he's got to find that right balance between being aggressive and not overextending. And we're going to see if he can do it today.
He always wants to get kills.
In Alienware Cup, he was great, though. I mean, he did find that balance. Not in the group. The group stages, he got benched from carry, right? That's Puppy put him on support. But he really rose to the occasion. So our 2-position player, Dendi. Need we say more? Dendi.
No, don't think so.
3-position. We've got
Funny. Fantastic Clinks. The best Clinks I've seen in competitive scene, by far. Other people try to imitate it. Not close.
Yeah, you can't imitate his Clinks, his Wisp. Tough to imitate as well. Puppy. We saw support Alk earlier today. Was a bit underwhelming, but they did take down Mouse 2-0. So they're not actually sitting 2-2 in the group, coming up against Zenith. And that leaves our 5-position player, Kuroki. He felt all the Asian teams were somewhat underrated and not getting the respect they deserve from the West. Outside of, say, Navi and Alliance, he felt like the Chinese teams were going to mostly dominate and roll. Didn't necessarily say the same thing about the Southeast Asian teams, but we'll see. On the other side, you've got Team Zenith. You've got one of the strongest-looking players in the solo championships yesterday, Ice Ice Ice. He had some swag when he took down S4.
Yeah, lots of swag.
Some good RNG, too.
It's yellow swag cred.
He beat the son of Magnus in a Magnus 1v1. Need we say more? We need not. He's playing position 1 now, known for his off lane, known for his solo mid in the past. Yamate, now on solo mid.
The Ags Refresher Razor.
Honestly, this should probably be 3 Razors, because he's been playing almost nothing but Razor so far.
He loves that hero. They used it very well, though. Props to them.
It really kind of fits their cheeky, we'll take some little small skirmishes here and there, but we're not going to team fight too much style. I think it's a good fit. XY offlaner, very underwhelming performance earlier today. His Windrunner was not impressive. He was 0-7 at one point in that game. I mean, you die in the offlane a few times, it happens. But 0-7.
They still won the game, though.
They still won the game, but I mean, you were basically saying
They need
Ice 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 carried them that game.
Yeah, carried them hard.
And I think against Navi, they need a team effort. Your 4-position, X Freedom, he played quite a few Tuskar games heading into the tournament. We have it on his signature
You should put Tree on there.
Yeah, I want some Tuskar. Yeah, there should be Tree. These were just some of his most played recently, though. And last but not least, the other Ice. So there's Ice, 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 there's Icy, and now there's Ice.
Apparently, Ice goes by Icy now.
He was just doing that to troll. He really is a troll extraordinaire. So we've introduced the teams.
The coal throwing.
Yeah.
And the snowball throwing.
It is so good.
He should play Tusk and just throw snowballs and then snowball into them.
So, I don't know. It might be too much, throwing coal snowballs.
Well, it's never too much for Ice.
Okay. Yeah, there's no such thing. With that being said, though, the draft is already underway, so we'll just do predictions real quick, and we'll hop into it. I think Navi 2-0.
Navi looked pretty weak, but also say 2-0 if they beat Mouse 2-0. I didn't actually see that
If the
game.
Navi that played Fnatic comes out, I think it could be a 1-1.
I think Fnatic was just playing like exceptionally well.
That's true. I did feel Navi made quite a few mistakes. So I'll say Navi 2-0, but I won't be surprised if it's 1-1.
What about our casters? Introducing them.
And Purge, Lumi, take it away.
I think Navi 2-0 is. I'm not extremely confident, but I think Navi
that's
has
a safe
shot.
bet. I think that's a safe bet. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that as well. If I had to put rares, I would not put it on Navi 2-0, but hey.
Well, I would, because I think if it's not a 2-0, it's probably going to for sure be a 1-1.
1-1, and then the bet cancels.
Safe bet, guys.
Yep, safe bet
Good
indeed.
chance of. Yeah, well, we lost our rares, didn't we? All right, let's get into the draft, guys. It is well underway, 2 rounds in. Surprisingly, a first pick Razor out of Zenith, and Lifestealer was already banned. So I think they're going to try to give me another treat here, another Aghanims Refresher Razor. Fingers crossed.
Well, I mean, generally you pick Razor to dominate that mid lane, but suddenly they have OD as well. So I think OD 95% of the time goes mid. We do see, for example, Black in that epic 97-minute game. He one row Outworld Destroyer in that game, but I don't expect that to be happening here. I think we're gonna see our OD solo mid, and that begs the question: do you offensive trialing that Razor? That's generally how most teams do play it when it's not mid, and how do you think the success rate for that hero at that position is?
If you're doing aggressive trialing, I would say you definitely need some solid range disables that can set up enough time for you to use the static link. One example would be something like Shadow Demon.
Okay.
Speaking of which, have we seen any Shadow Demon today? Like 1 or 2 games tops, not much.
Yeah, we've seen like 1 or 2. Yeah.
But you could do a static link, disrupt the guy, and then it continues ticking up. Similar to Outworld Devourer's Astral, actually. So if you link some guy and then banish him, you'll get all this bonus damage for 4 seconds.
Bane Elemental would be another one with Nightmare. So there are a couple of decent ones. But there you go, Shadow Demon as a prediction. But if they are going to go offensive trialing, there's a possibility that we'll run into a Visage, which is not a trialing hero you want to face, and also possibly even a Weaver. So these are either hard nuking heroes or very elusive heroes, and Zenith have to be playing their cards very carefully in terms of going offensive trialing, because Na'Vi generally very good defensive trialing team.
Maybe they should just do a safe one, honestly. I mean, Shadow Demon does counter Darkseer very well in the early game as well as in the mid game, just because you can disrupt after the surge comes, or as somebody gets surged in the late game, you can use Demonic Purge on them to remove that. So why not just do a safe? I mean, like we said, Visage is high nuking, which is scary because they have a Razor Shadow Demon, which, yeah, sure, it has a trick, but it's like gimmicky. And if it's up against a Weaver, if the Weaver's offlane or something, whatever, you've got sentries, just zone him out and you're fine. But if you're going aggressive and you're against a Weaver and you can't make kills on him and you're worried about diving tower, it sounds really shifty to me and something that you shouldn't try to force.
Yeah, I think it's going to be somewhat tough as well. But just going back to talk about Na'Vi a little bit, I've said this the same thing when we were casting Fnatic versus Na'Vi. I said any team that's going to TI3 better have a strat prepare against Na'Vi, because, and probably even Alliance, right? If you don't have strategy prepare against 2 of the heavy favorites coming from the West, why are you there? Because you're not going to eventually win, hopefully win the tournament if you can go through these big teams. We want to see Shadow Fiend being picked up here, so suddenly the minus armor is going to come out. Weaver going to give you minus armor, Shadow Fiend with a passive aura, and Visage very likely to pick up a Medallion Courage as well. So they have a ton of minus armor, and against a Razor, who is normally a very tanky hero, he's going to have issues. Outworld Destroyer, who sometimes pick up late game BKB, he's going to have issues as well. So I feel like for now, Na'Vi, in theory, have the better draft. How do you stand about the draft so far? Who do you think has the advantage?
I think Na'Vi's draft looks a lot more normal, first of all.
Okay.
It's likely to be a Shadow Fiend versus an OD mid, which sounds absolutely horrible. But maybe they'll put Shadow Fiend in the safe lane instead, if that's the case. They would have to put Dendi on the safe lane, maybe Funnick mid. I'm not quite sure, but Funnick plays Darkseer.
When they make that lane switch, they put Havos back mid. And then sometimes he plays like a Gyro mid, or he gets dual lane mid, for example. But I've seen Dendi play like a disadvantaged matchup with Shadow Fiend mid and still do okay. I'm actually quite excited because I think this is going to be Dendi's first Shadow Fiend game of the International. He loves going Blink Daggers. He loves going Ethereal Blades. And it's fun to watch, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think Na'Vi's draft looks a lot more standard, but the only thing I'm worried about is basically the OD mid. They don't really have a hero that can deal with it right now. They don't have the counters. They're just going to have to suck it up and do their best, and hopefully this turns into a good mid game. And since their heroes look a lot better to me, I think this is a possibility.
Okay, we're going to see Jakiro being selected here by Zenith. Yeah, I'm going to agree with you here. Even if like Shadow Fiend, let's say he gets out CS'd in the mid lane, like you don't actually have a way to back him up. Your Visage is not a good ganger. And I don't think you could pick a support hero that will suddenly say, oh, Visage plus this person really good at ganking OD. So I think OD is going to be on that particular lane in the long run. And if 1v1 situation will beat SF. So hopefully Na'Vi don't lane it that way, but we'll see.
Jakiro is the support pick for Zenith here, which is going to set up a great offensive or defensive trialing. You can disrupt, set up the ice path immediately afterwards, and then go for kills, hopefully. So
yeah, that's only the kind of the true stuns against things like Weaver, who it normally is very elusive. So I think both teams need more like actual real stuns, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that, definitely. Na'Vi might need some stuns at some point. We did see one of the other matches, I think in the wildcard match, actually. There was a game where Rattlesnake used 0 stuns and they still did fine. It's Queen Earthshaker pick. He looks a bit evil here, but believe it or not, guys, he is a Radiant hero. And I believe that Puppy was playing him earlier today. Wasn't able to catch the match, but I caught a couple tweets about it. And I mean, who needs a stun when you can just block somebody off and create a cliff? Like a Weaver especially. You can't run fast if you can't walk, if you can't move at all, unless you can like tango a beeline through the trees or something. So that does give them an option towards shutting them down. I'm sorry, Weaver's on the same team. Excuse me. Everything I just said is worthless.
So what Earthshaker and Visage work as a combo is that because he does so much AoE damage with a single fissure, if you hit like 2 or 3 heroes with a single fissure, that will feel a Soul Assumption nuke immediately. So it just improved Visage's damage output quite a bit. And now we're going to see Tinker, a Southern East Asian special coming out from our Zenith squad. But one thing that to mention is that Earthshaker does give you that mid gang. If you get that block on the ramp, and the hero's trapped, and then that's a first blood or a second kill, or whatever you want to call it. So maybe Puppey will give you those first blood opportunity, but I guess we are going to see Shadow Fiend mid unless Havos decides to go mid on the Weaver.
Yeah, Havos has picked up the Weaver here, so it's looking like Zenith is for sure going to do an aggressive tri-lane. Razor, Shadow Demon, Jakiro. The safe tri-lane from Navi is possibly going to be Havos, Puppey, or sorry, a Weaver, Earthshaker, Visage, which is definitely pretty good as well. It's kind of similar. Weaver isn't usually a hard farmer in a tri-lane, but he will be still useful. He's going to have to be a little bit more patient about his Skuchis because the cooldown is going to be much larger because of his lower level, but I think they could win that tri-lane relatively okay.
I mean, the cool thing about having Earthshaker in your defensive tri-lane is that he doesn't even need be near the fight. Like, his range is so long, at 1300 range, that he is going to get the stun that he wants. But we are going to see that 1v1 mid matchup that we're kind of talking about. I think both of us were predicting OD to take that matchup handily, but we'll talk about that later. Let's actually introduce our teams and players. Navi on the Radiant side, Kuroki will be handling the Visage. We have Havos 4 on Weaver. Then he's going to be playing Shadow Fiend. Funnick's going to be handling the Darkstair. And Puppey is going on the bot lane right now on Earthshaker. Now, Navi obviously 2-2 walking into this game, having beat Mouse in a 2-0 and then lost to Fnatic in a 0-2. So hopefully they could pick up a couple win here.
Yeah, if you guys are a little unfamiliar with how the group stage works, we'll basically have 2 days of group stage matches, I believe, or is there
3 days?
3 days?
The last day has like 2 best-of-2s. It's a very short day.
Okay, so the last day is pretty short, but basically they're going to play a bunch of matches today, and they'll play a bunch of matches tomorrow. And whoever's top 4 in each group gets seeded into the winners bracket, which is a huge deal. You really want to be winners bracket because then you play best of 3s, which guarantees that the best team is going to win, hopefully you. And if you're in the losers bracket, you play best of 1s, which means any one game could knock you out of the entire tournament. So these teams want to win every single game that they can. So hopefully 2-0 here for either team.
Well, here for Zenith side, this is very interesting. If you look at Tinker, saving up 460 gold, just bought Tango and a GG branch. I guess he's thinking about Ancienting by himself, and it looks like we do have a little bit of rune engagement, but it's going to be okay up top. Ice is going to be hand out Razor. We have Ice on Shadow Demon. Freedom's going to be playing Jakiro. On the mid lane here, Yamate, or NWP as he's called right now, it's going to be handling the Outworld Devourer. So, I mean, offlane Tinker, more times than not, just doesn't work. But what do you think about this particular one in terms of a 1v3 matchup?
Well, he'll be able to stack Ancients a lot. I am sure that Navi's going to react to this quite rapidly. They still have 1 Observer left on Kuro, and what they'll probably do is just drop the Observer Ward right on the Ancient spots, and when you do that, it just prevents his stacking from happening, and this wave is very unlikely to go out of control. Puppey is farming? What is happening? Okay,
no.
Havos is just late.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like,
but Havos missed like every last hit, though, because he was somewhat late. He's going to try to get this particular one, so.
They were contesting Rune top, correct?
I think so, yeah. And also because they missed that, the Equilibrium is now very far out. So if Tinker wants to actually come into the lane a little bit after that stack, that should be good. Also, you get to see the fact that he has saved so much. Oh, he just spent it on a breach of speed, I think. It's smart to save go early because you never know if it's going to get blocked. And if it does, like Puppey's trying to do so right now, then you could probably be buying your own Sentry and maybe go into a D-Ward war.
Yep, and Puppey's just going to use his Sentry in the meantime. He wants to make sure that that's blocked for now without having to waste an Observer. Observers are a lot more valuable now than they were in the past, just because you can only purchase 1 at the start of the game. So Sentry is a lot easier. It's going to cost, it's going to stay there a lot less time, but still definitely worth it.
Yeah, if you look at the mid lane right now, we talked about how OD is going to have the lane advantage, but look at the CS. It's 4-5. In favor of Yamate into his last hit and deny, and then 2-1 on Dendi. So obviously Shadow Fiend will struggle a little bit early, but he just got some critical one and even dishing out a couple of raises here to the OD.
That was a really big swing, guys. It may seem small, but he got a total of 3 last hits there, which is 6 damage change, and now he's hitting for 64 damage, which is awfully close to what OD is working with. I mean, normally an OD is sitting at like a 20 damage advantage at level 1 with pooled Null Talisman here, so this is really good for Dendi. He will be able to snowball. He's not going to be able to raise as much, but if he can pick up enough souls, he will have an okay time mid.
Well, I mean, OD says, yeah, you get 6 damage by last hitting 3 times. I'm going to just nuke you once, or not nuke you once, Astro you once, and then I get 6 damage myself, so that's why OD is sometimes very, very unfair, and Dendi is, at least doing okay in that lane.
Got Razor on the top lane, picking up level 4. He's not sure which skill build he wants to go yet, so he's going to save the skill points. This is Ice 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 playing Razor this time. Last time it was Yamate, so see maybe a different skill build coming out of this. And a lot of defensive warding actually covering Dendi on the mid lane. Even a Sentry Ward, this is to scout out smoke, because they know that the safe tri-lane heroes will be top. So hopefully he doesn't get ganked too much here. Pretty easy hero to kill.
Yeah, even having Sentry Ward there, you'll still have to have your camera physically watching this area of the map, because it won't show on the mini-map. So it takes a little bit of skill coming out from the Na'Vi players. I guess whoever's jungling or pulling right now will try their best to, pay attention to mid lane, because Dendi is probably one of their more important players. He is definitely a playmaker. And we talked about the Blink Dagger earlier. We're talking about the Ethereal Blade earlier. It doesn't matter if he dies 4 times and does not have the farm. So we'll see how Dendi continues to handle this mid lane, who is, to be honest, this is a really big struggle for Dendi right now.
Yeah, he's at 6 and 4, total of 10 CS. Only 6 of those giving him gold, and Yamate is at 12 and 10, so
Jesus,
it's about doubling him.
Yeah. He's actually only really hard right now. I don't know what Dendi's going to do. He's out of mana, so he can't raise his way back either.
You just got to get a bottle, and then, I mean, I guess he still has to farm a bottle, but, I mean, if you get a bottle, you can spend the mana right before your Astral runs out. So, they actually de-warded the ward here, so Ice as well as Freedom are smoked up, coming towards the mid lane. Puppy's actually going to be here in position, and there's the vision on Ice. Where will he throw the fissure? I'm not quite sure yet. He doesn't really know where to go. He's going to drop it on Yamate, so Dendi's got, look at the damage output here, and Dendi is just going to die
They might get Puppy as well. Puppy's getting Astral, but no, he's at full HP, but to be honest, I think Zenith had the perfect spread. They had one person here, they had one person here, and they had one person here. There's no way your fissure is going to hit all 3. And because of that, he just dished it out on Yamate, but the good spread says that the 2 support is going to focus. And then they not only just doing horribly on the mid lane in terms of CS, gave up first blood. And they're not done. They're actually thinking about going up top. Funnix already fighting Ice Ice Ice. Ice 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 pretending to be trapped, but here comes the rotation of the support. But Puppy's also here, so they got to be very careful how to engage that. Ice 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 still trapped in somewhat in these 3 lines.
Yeah, Puppy's a little scared as well. His mana's about to hit full. He has been banished once. There's the disruption. That was a surge. Here comes Ice Path. Soul Catcher as well. Look at the bonus damage. Zenith. Ice 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 might be going down. Puppy wants to go for the kill. Needs probably 2 or 3 hits. The salve comes through as well, and that's going to stop it. And now Puppy's definitely not going to get the kill. Great salve usage by Ice 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 on the top lane. That gives them a double, and they pick off the kills.
TP coming in. That's Weaver. He wants to get a kill. There's a nice Ice Path, and that should be enough to prevent Ice Ice from going down. I think they are going to lose a Shadow Demon as a result. I say that he's actually tangling out. 1 more hit. They need definitely 2 more hits now because he's regen enough. The tangles, the jukes from Ice, and there's a merry-go-round. Let's see how long he keep it up. He's walking back home. Where's the second Ice Path? There's nothing. Freedom has no mana, but hey, man, you have delayed it way more than enough, and Ice 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 already back home very safe.
So, well, at least they got 1 kill out of it. Hvos is going to shift lanes down. This will give Kuro some easy EXP. He's up against a level 2 Tinker, so he can definitely do this. He's going to trade some hits here. Level 4 as well, so he's got a Gravekeeper's Cloak to tank some damage, but overall, not the best game so far for Na'Vi. I think Dendi just missed a raise as well, maybe. No, maybe he did catch a skeleton, but some free souls here, which is very, very much needed.
Yeah, he is getting decent levels, but really he needs decent gold. And Shadow Fiend is a very good catch-up hero, because once he hits level 7, 2 raises will net you all of the farm in a single wave. But at the same time, if you look at the level difference, then he is a full level behind an OD, and he's continued to gonna struggle here, because OD, look at his base damage now, 99.
That's very good. Shadow Fiend, it's actually, they actually have the same damage right now, if you look at it.
Say what? Oh yeah,
they have the same damage. I mean, Shadow Fiend does similar things. He gets a lot of last hits, and his damage gets ridiculous. Except this time, I mean, I don't even feel that bad for him.
Okay, I guess so.
OD is a jerk, but like, I mean, Shadow Fiend is also a jerk if he gets a big advantage.
Well, maybe Na'Vi as a team is a jerk because they're setting up a gank on a poor SD. The Fissure's gonna hit for sure, and I don't think SD is gonna just go down. That Fissure blocks the rest of the team on this way here, and Hvos with the Iron Shot is gonna go right on Ice Ice Ice. This is a big dive here, and he is gonna go down. The wall gets dropped. That is an early wall, but they are gonna get the kill. Funnix just walks in, just says the wall was for show.
I love that punch. That's why he threw it. He had a regen rune, so he's like, whatever. I'll just. Maybe we'll do some damage here. Really easy to kill Razor, though, and that's one of the reasons that he's not played very much, in my opinion, is that he doesn't have a hard disable. And sure, he can be fast and useful and sap a lot of damage, but, I mean, once you get dive like that, there's literally nothing he can do to stop the Weaver. An Iron Shell on top of Weaver is just too much damage output.
I mean, he even had phase boot, right? So in theory, he could have just ran back to the tower, but he just got dove, so...
So too rough for him. 38 CS now on the Outworld Destroyer. Shadow Fiend sitting at 25. A lot of these are neutrals. He's actually spending tons of time at the neutral camps. It's going to cost him an EXP, definitely, and if we compare the levels, he is about a level behind. But he is guaranteeing some last hits, and he doesn't have to worry about his mana being too drained.
With the Zenith supports actually smoking back up, they want to challenge this, and I don't think this is the right play. There's 4 heroes up top for Na'Vi. They see Kuroki, they should, right? You disrupt him, you go.
What is he doing? He's not doing anything here. He's literally just standing still. He gets disrupted. There's the care sign. That's Kuro realizing what's happening. Dual breath and an ice path, and Kuro goes down. What was that?
It seems like both teams just had a huge lag spike and they AFK'd. One team just saw them, and the other team just stood there like, I'm illusion. And these guys got, no, I'm illusion. But they're not illusions. So I'm just confused.
Yeah, me too. I don't know if he saw it. I didn't check vision there, but Dire Team definitely spotted him. I saw the pings, and he got attacked. He traded hits for like 2 times. He must have been looking somewhere else on the map.
Well, that's unfortunate. But a couple of key items coming out here. OD's going to be going for a 4-staff. I don't think that's a Dagon.
Definitely Dagon. You saw those 1v1 matches, man. Dagon is viable, okay?
All right. Also, Ice is going for a headdress, so definitely that's the mech build. I personally thought they should have had OD to go for the mech, because I think if Ice gets that BKB refresher, game's actually over. But, alright, you know, mech on Razor.
Crow's going to try to help out, does some slow here. Puppy, wow, gets blown up. The problem with Earthshaker, dependent on mana, but doesn't have a whole lot of int, so an easy blow up there by the OD.
Yeah, the double damage hit, definitely very helpful to that as well.
Observer ward spot on the mid lane, so that's going to be 1 ward completely wasted there by Puppy. See Yamate pick that up, and a 1-shot there. They continue to farm on the top lane. Let's take a look at the gold graph, see how close things are. It's pretty darn close game. Top 750 gold advantage for Zenith, so game isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Dendy has made a marvelous recovery. Some of it is because of his team stacking for him, but he's got enough damage right now that he doesn't really care too much for OD's harassment. So at this point, I think Dendy's got to be the person that just breaks it open for the rest of the team. But he's very far away from... He needs to upgrade his treads. He needs to get a Blink Dagger, ideally. But if the game goes very tough for Na'Vi, then he may be forced to get a BKB. And when you get a BKB first on Shadow Fiend, sure, you're not going to die. But you're also only kind of just relegated to winning team fights. You're not going to find those free pick-off in the jungle with a Shadow Blade or a Blink Dagger.
So back on the safe lane, Havos is still farming. Went for an Aquila Treads build with a Ring of Health. So Lincoln Sphere, probably. We've been seeing a lot of hoods, but this is a safe farming Weaver. So I think he'll go for the more expensive item that he should be guaranteed to get, especially against Shadow Demon and OD and stuff like that. Might be useful.
Yeah. We actually haven't seen XY on the map for quite a bit, right? He's still on this stacking. And he's level 5. He's just having a very, very tough time, despite the fact that Havos and everybody else been zoned out. And in fact, Havos is going to go for the kill right now. He needs to drop that laser. He's in really big trouble. Where's the laser? There's no laser just yet. There's finally the laser. The TP comes in the rocket as well. Havos now goes back in time. Where's the ice path? There's nothing just yet. And Havos, aggressive player, diving for a kill. He's got one.
He played that really nicely. Waited till the absolute last moment. He got the XY's HP to a bit of a tick. It's only a level 1 swarm, so it doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but waited for the time lapse and came back and got the last hit. A little diving on top as well. Ice is being slowed, taking some Iron Shell damage, but he's going to be just fine. It's going to take him a while to hit full HP, though, so they could swing in here again pretty soon and try to snag a kill.
Yeah, there's no detection. Oh, there is a pair of ward over here, so they should, in theory, see a couple here running by. And to be honest, all they need to do is search Kuroki in with a fissure, and they should be able to...
It doesn't spot jungle, though, so they might be able to swing back out. He's still well positioned next to the tower, though, so he'll be fine. And a little bit of damage to the creeps. He does not want to get dived, and now that these creeps are coming in, that just may happen. And very wisely, it looks like he's thinking about backing out.
He's got 5 charges on the wand, so that's some effective HP there. Well... Navi's still not making that dive, playing very timid up on the top lane. There's 3 or 4 hero there, and meanwhile on the bot lane here, Havos making yet another dive, time lapse back, and I think he's going to make that Sakuchi kill, I think. No, he thinks better of it. Ice TP's back in. Man, just really aggressive team play here from Na'Vi.
He's got 4 kills right now. Havos is playing extremely well this game. Definitely Weaver a hero that suits him here, and he's going to do more damage to Ice out of mana as well, so rough rest of lane for him.
Got 10 at Tango. Havos says I need more than this. I need like a salve and a half, but I think with the fissure and a swarm, they could get the kill, right? No, nothing just said. Link coming out, the fissure blocks him on the other side. In fact, they have to try right clicks here. Ice,
wow.
a lot more damage output.
Oh
There's
no, he
charges
on
the wand. There's 4 charges on the one more ice path. Ugh!
Oh man, that was so close. Small mistake from Havos. He accidentally used his Geminate attack. on a creep instead of killing Ice Ice Ice. I think Ice 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 was way overestimating his survivability there. He stayed way too long. He's like, oh, I sapped some damage, 30, and then I checked Weaver. He still was hitting for 90 damage or something like that. Yeah, you can't deal with that.
90 damage plus 2. Or times 2. Yeah, Funnick on the top lane here grabs himself a haste rune. They definitely could make that dive if anybody decides to TP in. One thing out of all of this that's really good is that Dandy has been finding free farm, basically, for the past 2-3 minutes. You can see that Kuroki, because, remember that rotation up top by Hovos? He's got level 7 from a Visage. After you hit level 6, your hero gets a lot stronger. So I think Na'Vi, despite the game looks fairly even, they're doing pretty okay. And here comes the dive up top. Ice 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 pops his ultimate. The slow goes on the wall, even on top. And that Illusion's doing a little bit extra damage. And that's a great tower dive. There was no rotation to actually help out the hero. And I think they're going to just backdoor this tower as well.
Yeah, Dendy's in some trouble on the mid lane. They smoked around. Here comes. Oh, there's the Force Staff and the Banish.
He buys a blink, though, before he dies.
Oh, very good. Ice Path comes. There's a Soul Catcher and a couple right clicks. He grabs one more last hit, maybe.
Did he? Get the last hit?
Doesn't matter. He's got his Blink Dagger. Still pretty good. 13-minute Blink Dagger. Shadow Fiend versus OD. Good luck reproducing that one, guys.
I mean, Yamate did not play poorly at all, right? Keep in mind that there was also a First Blood gank going his way, so then he had the entire world pointing guns at him. Meanwhile, Hovos, he just wants to kill everything, and XY just having none. Ooh! Ice Path forcing him back here. Maybe a dual breath? Oh, they're trying to wait it out here, and Hovos jukes to the left, and he will be fine.
The Puppy looks to be in a lot of trouble. He's going to get disrupted, followed by a Banish. Here comes the Fissure on top of OD, and Puppy looks quite dead.
Yeah. And again, when you're dealing with Earthshaker, you gotta spread open that such. No a single Fissure is going to hit everybody. Meanwhile, Hovos is thinking about stealing some of these Ancients. Man, he's just so annoying, but so effective in this game. Diving past to kill XY multiple times, and now stealing some of these Ancients. Well,
it's very greedy, but it's going to pay off. He's taking all the small black dragons, essentially, because those ones are not magic immune. And now Ice is going to spot this out. He's like, hey, those are ours. Get out of here.
Oh, Hovos is actually quite low. He doesn't have time left still. Fighting against the one this big Ancient. The Poison's going to scout them out.
Is he going to die? Do they have
close.
any detection?
Oh, the Soul Catcher.
Oh, there's one sentry on the Jakiro. Will he place it?
He TP's out. Nobody.
Oh, my gosh. This guy.
Hovos.
Playing dangerous. Fissure on. Oh, man. He's in a lot of trouble. There's the nukes. Kuro picks up the kill. I'm sorry. Shadow Fiend does. So Dendy grabs that. And by the way, this is, again, a Blink Dagger first Shadow Fiend.
Yep.
We haven't seen this in years, essentially. Like, people don't trust it. They say, okay, I have a Blink Dagger, but if you get stunned, your 2,200 gold item is worthless. Most people almost always focus on both treads or a BKB.
Yeah,
but usually both.
Dendy in Alien World Club was going Blink first just all the time because he just loved that item. It gives him so much more team fight. It allows you to pick off heroes basically for free. I thought he had to upgrade his shreds, but it's like, forget that. I want that Blink. And to be honest, when you actually initiate with things like Astro as well as Shadow Demon Disruption, if you're quick enough, and then he definitely is, you could Blink right back out. Look at this Fissure into a Requiem. Those are the free kills I'm talking about. Race, oh, nice disrupt here to make sure that he's safe. Very nicely hit. The wall on top not going to hit here, and Funnick in big trouble trying to TP out. Do they have that TP? Nice disruption to cancel that TP. Force that 4 from Yamate. He wants Kuroki, but Kuroki's so fast, but not quick enough to get out of there. That's one kill. That's second kill, and where the hell's Dendy? Dendy's safely all the way back home outside from that fight.
So, well, that's what he's been planning to do, the Blink Requiem. Unfortunately for them, they weren't able to pick up the Tinker and a bit too close to the tower and the enemy heroes, so things did not work out. Hovos is going to take this tower, though, for sure. Kuro actually gets the last hit, but
that's fine.
At least somebody got it.
I mean, we're looking at Hovos. He's 4-0-1, stealing Ancients. He was doing it just with the Perseverance, and now he's going to have, like, what, a 18-minute Lincolns or something like that, and XY in huge trouble again. Where's the defensive TP? He says, all right, Ice is here. Whew. Thank God he's safe. Oh, no, maybe not. Time lapse back to XY, and he's going to get yet another kill. Nice smack up here. Ice Path's going to drive him away. Hovos says, man, I'm having a time of my life, maybe. Where's the detection? Finally, Sentry will get him.
Oh, man.
Man, that Sentry should have came out a lot
sooner. He dodges the Ice Path. He might make it. The Urn's doing damage, but no, Plasma Field.
And that's a mega kill streak.
Man, he was 50 gold away from his Lincolns. That will set him back by quite a bit.
Oh, man.
But this Tinker just gets his boots of travel, dies again.
He needs like a Force Staff right now. Which
Weaver does?
No. Tinker does.
No, man, Force Staff Weaver. It's good, I heard.
I saw Blink Weaver once in a pub game. It was fucking amazing. Like, you just can't run away. He has so much juke. But, you know, we'll table that discussion for another day. How do you feel that Navi's doing right now? The game score is 8-10. If we look at gold chart, Navi's winning by 5,000 gold. It actually feels like Zenith is winning, but I guess Havo's just putting way too much pressure. He has like 4 or 5 kills on the bot lane by himself, diving towers multiple times. So you gotta keep in mind that he's drawing multiple TPs. He's also destroyed that tower with Kuroki's Purge. So Havo single-handedly, in my opinion, is winning the game right now for Navi.
I agree completely. I mean, it doesn't matter necessarily that he died. On a normal carry circumstance, it'd be like, oh man, the carry should never die. But he created so much space for Dendi despite the terrible matchup. So many forced TPs. He's gotten solo kills. He's doing exactly what he should be doing as a Weaver, which is farming while pressuring opponents, getting kills, and farm. You can't just farm on a Weaver because he's not a typical hard carry. He's supposed to be annoying, and he's supposed to snag kills.
Yep. I mean, normally you see Weaver making plays like this maybe 35 minutes down the road when he has like a Manta Style and a Lincoln Sphere and just like tanky items, right? But he's doing this with Perseverance and Treads. That's how impressive it is. So just knowing when he could make that dive and knowing when he needs to back off. He did get punished for it, I guess, just now, but I don't think he's going to back off. He's going to continue to be annoying on the bot lane.
Yep. Ice sitting on a Phase Boots mech with an Ogre Club, so he will be going BKB. He probably decided that he had to get an armor item this game just because of the fact that there is presence of the Dark Lord. Here comes the Phaedra. It's going to catch him immediately. Dendi was ready for that one. Look at that kill, man. They didn't even have to worry about focusing him down. He just died immediately.
Yeah. It's just so, like, it's so simple to execute that combo, but it's so nice to watch because we don't see that blink. And here goes, he blinks forward and just says, man, easy kills. Dendi finds a double for free. And now Funnick, perhaps in a little bit of trouble in the middle of everybody. And now the tower's focusing on it. OD says, all right, free kill.
Yeah, he was a little bit too far forward. He saw Dendi go in, and he was ready to fight. Slows on top of Yamate. Freedom's going to try to TP out. Doesn't make a disruption on top of the OD to keep him alive, but the raises come. Double raise. He goes down. Shadow Demon drops, and Havo stays alive. 5 dead heroes on Zenith. I'm surprised they took that fight when Razor has been dead the whole time, but it happened.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't really have a chance because it was Dendi blinking in, and that 1300 cast range of Puppy's Fissure just gets him every time. I mean, we haven't even seen an Echo Slam from Puppy just yet, right? It's just good old Fissures setting up the engagement. And here comes Ice. Half his team is still dead, and they want to defend this tier 2. Glyph gets popped. Fissure comes up here, and the raises, well, they're not flying just yet. These Marching Machine is just being very annoying, making sure the supports are not diving that big time. Kuroki's going to try to TP out, and he, well, Disruption. Oh, sick TP.
Whoa. I think they had vision of that. I don't even know if he was high ground. Ice attacked him, and Ice threw the Shadow Poison. I mean,
instead of disrupting.
That was a big mistake, I think. I'm pretty sure he could have caught that.
Well, how are we back in this game? We just saw them before. It was a 5,000 goal lead. Still a little bit more than a 5,000 at this point here. What's going on?
Navi is winning. That's what's happening.
Okay. No surprise, though, right? Because we expect them to 2-0 Zenith. To be honest, I feel like Zenith actually put up a pretty decent fight there. KY, or not KY, XY is just having a tough game on the bot lane, getting dove all day, but slowly he's going to get his, you know, mojo on. Once he gets his Blink or Force Staff, he should not, in theory, die anymore.
In theory.
Well, here comes a Volse.
He's got a double damage. He puts 2 hits in. Oh
my god.
Lincoln Sphere. Good item, guys. I was like, why is he still hitting him? Oh, yeah. That's right. He's not done yet. He wants 2 kills. Does some damage to Ice. He's going to have to back. He did use his time lapse. There's no way he can dive
that. He's level 16. We're 20 minutes in. Look at... Alright, he's 16, then these 13, and the highest on the dial right now is 13 on Yamate. And, like, nobody else has any levels. That Tinker, that poor Tinker is level 9. Holy crap, Havo's right now. This is
Christmas for him. He sees the Ancients.
Such an impressive game. Oh, he says SD as well. How is this double damage still on?
I don't know.
It's been here, like, for a minute, feels like.
It's been kind of useful. Another Gemini comes in, puts Ice really low, pops the wand. He might die. Fire damage. Tower hit. Ooh. Finally playing a little too aggressive. Getting nothing in return this time.
He could have swapped Treads to Strength, maybe. Maybe.
It would have given him, like, what, 8 HP? He was going to die, man. That tower hit was going to do it, even without the burning, I think.
Well.
So, regular Brown Boots. Shadow Fiend going to take some damage. Nothing out of the static link. Dendi was ready to run from that one.
How often do you go Blink, BKB, and then, oh, by the way, let's go back for a Treads?
No, man, this is a Hand of Midas. 21 minute. No, I'm just kidding.
It's not bad, actually.
Definitely going to be some Treads here. So, he's almost 16. This is really good for him. Presence of the Dark Lord is maxed out. Pretty soon his Requiem of Souls will do the full 160 damage per soul. It's an increase of 50%. Actually 33% now, but going to be really strong in the team fight. And again, there's not that much lockdown on Zenith. They're really lacking disables. Tinker got massively shut down this game. They were hoping that he was going to do a lot better, but I mean, against a Weaver.
Well, they also
matchup.
put him on the off-lane solo, right? You just can't be like, all right, you get the off-lane solo. I want each minute at 8 minutes and then a 4-staff at 12. Yeah, he's had a tough time, but understandably so. I think Zenith has a testing time in the next 2 minutes, 3 minutes, because with Presence of Dark Lord maxed out, and of course a Medallion Courage up on the Visage, any kind of 2-man, 3-man team wipe that Na'Vi gets, that means Aegis, that means Roshan. So Zenith's got to be extremely careful about their positioning. Yamate should use those 4-staffs defensively. I see him just 4-staffing himself forward to Astro offensively, and that he's got to be very careful about that in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, oftentimes that's going to produce you being out of position more than
and then not
else.
having both of your defensive spells. So.
Yep, exactly. It's definitely very scary to do that. I like how Navi's team composition is coming together, though. They have a Blink Dagger on Darkseer, so I know exactly what's going to happen. They're going to do a long-range Fissure if he doesn't have a Blink on
Blink
Puppy
Vacuum
yet,
on top.
and then they're going to Blink Vacuum Shadow Fiend, and it's going to be really sexy, and you guys are going to see it happen at least once this game. I hope. I hope they have the coordination. I know Navi is extremely talented. Please, at least once, let the cards align.
Well, I think it's not so much a coordination, but whether Zenith clumps, and hopefully, I guess for their sake, they don't make that clump.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed that Zenith plays poorly.
Yes. I mean, I would love to see a refresher Aghanims Razor once again, but I think I'd rather see the Wombo combo of old.
Well, Shadow Fiend's going to come in right now. You can see Ice going for the last hit. He does get it, but can he make it back home? That's a question here. Blink from Dendi, and the raises will begin very soon. And here comes a Swarm as well. Ice does not have the mech. The phase is going to be coming out. Where's the Force? Where's the Disrupt? And there's nothing. And the Bugs is going to get the kill. I guess the tier 1 for carry is okay, but yeah.
Almost a Fissure, trying to catch anybody here, but it's not going to happen, and they will immediately go in the Roshan pit.
You get a pick, that's free Roche.
Yep. Tons of minus armor here, minus 12 with the Medallion that's sitting on Kuro. Dendi's going to be right-clicking this one. He's got Treads ready to go. Havos high ground, just trying to pressure. Again, the best part about this hero is that he can be very annoying. So normally he'd be in the... Oh, man. He's even fighting Ice. He gets banished for a second. Ice is going to survive this, but here comes the Ice Path. Can he time-lapse out of this? I think he will be able to, actually. He's going to Sukuichi through. Oh, he needs a time-lapse immediately. Oh, he's on cooldown. He used it already. So Dendi's in the fight. He's got BKB up, right-clicking on Odie. Odie picks up Kuro. Kuro almost gets sniped. That's the Surge on him. And a blink to the low ground from Funnick.
But Roche is low right now, right? Can Yamate and the rest of the team go back in? Razor's TP back in. That's a mech, so he could...
Low is very subjective. This is a half HP.
Well, low enough, perhaps, but maybe not. Dendi did a triple kill, but so did Yamate, so I guess that's a decent trade. I mean, Odie's one of the scarier heroes to get a pile go. He's actually 500 away from having a Scythe of Ice. He purchased up top, waits for the Fissure to be used. Can he, in theory, get a solo kill against Puppy? He doesn't have the ultimate.
Probably not then. He does have 4 levels of Arcane Orb, but I feel like you'd have to banish Dendi and just right-click Earthshaker 8 times or something. At least 5. It would definitely take a lot of hits. Well, he's got a Fissure before that, and there's also a chance you could die. I mean, he's got Fissure, he could Enchant, and he could Echo Slam. So that's like, what, over 3 seconds of stun that could set up Dendi damage?
Yeah.
That's not something you want to mess with.
I mean, once Puppy used a Fissure, I think he had about 3 seconds to think about that to decide whether you want to go in or not.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
then he backed off, so... Well, Zenith dodged a bullet because... They would have lost the Aegis if Havos didn't go full YOLO mode. Havos did not have the ultimate there, and the team fight was forced out. And to be honest, it was a decent team fight, but it just didn't pan out that they had the Aegis there as well.
Darkseer picks up some Arcane Boots to help supply his mana needs. Top of the net worth charts continue to be Havos as well as Dendi. So they're pretty happy with this. 2,200 gold now on Shadow Fiend. What do you think you should pick up now as a damage item?
I personally like Mantis out quite a bit, although with that said, March of Machine really destroys his illusions. Butterfly is generally a good item, but there is a Scythe of Ice finish on OD, so if you get Scythe, you're probably in big trouble. He loves his EB, so I'm going to say Ethereal Blade because you just kind of...
This is a thing, really?
Yeah, he loves his EB. Nobody else gets it.
I've seen it in pub games before, but that was about it.
Dendi pub player.
That is true. The best pub player.
The best pub player ever, right? Dendi's amazing, so... We'll see exactly what he does go for. Let's not forget the fact that the Ghost Scepter component of Ethereal Blade gives you +7 stats. So that's some nice HP for him. And there's an Eagles on it, so he right-clicks a lot harder as well. It's not a bad item per se.
Yeah, it is true. It's +40 agility. So, and then if he ends up getting a Mantisol afterwards, that's more bonus damage for his illusions. He's going to pick up a bottle. Nice late game choice. Just kidding, guys. It's Bottle Crow. This guy loves Bottle Crow in late game. This is the second time late game that I've seen.
This is so Pinoy. Like, Pino is used to do this like 45 minutes into the game. I'm like, what's going on? What's being delivered on a courier? Oh, a bottle? Okay. So that gave me some flashbacks here.
Yeah.
Dendi, of course, raising it away. He's up to 3,100 gold, so we're going to know very soon what item he does end up going for.
And they're going to try the Roshan again. Hopefully Havost does not overdive again.
No, Havost is in the pit safely, right-clicking away. Now with that kind of minus armor, they didn't even get a pick. They just waltz right in and says, hey, man, this thing's free.
It's going to be close. Yep. Who picks up Weaver? Of course, the overly aggressive guy. He's going to be fighting Crows in a lot of trouble, though. Ice is getting a bunch of bonus damage, hitting for plus 84 here. He's right-clicking Puppey. Puppey gets his Echo Slam off, but it's not quite what they're looking for. Double Bird now, and there's the Banish trying to keep him alive. Denny's going to drop the ulti. How much damage is it going to do? Pretty good. Raze picks him off. OD drops. Razor drops. Blink forward. X Freedom is going to go down. Havos has died, but who cares? That is an Aegis. He's done his job. And a big team fight win by Na'Vi, losing 2 heroes,
Man,
but
they want
2
more.
supports.
Dendi's looking for the blink. He doesn't want to go for it because XY TP's back in. But Team USA right now just laid a big hammer drop down on Zenith, and that's tier 2.
Yep, should be at least. Funnock doesn't have a whole lot of mana unless, of course, you know, that one OP AoE spell, the counter-pushing Tinker. This is why they have him in the game. They want this to go late so that the OD can get really farmed with the Razor, but it doesn't matter. Tower still drops, and Tinker's unable to stop it.
Yeah, I think right now in that team fight, they really realize that OD needs a BKB because it's nice the fact that he could just force half himself in and do a ton of deeps, but at the same time, a single fissure means he's going to be dead during that fissure. There's so much focus fire from Havos. It doesn't even seem like he has a lot of damage. He's going to finish MKB right now, which is going to be a decent item, but with the minus armor, that there is a medallion, there's the bugs, and of course with the Shadow Fiend, any physical hits is just already going to hurt so much.
Man,
so
that regen did so much work on Darkseer. Just regen like 1,400 points of mana or something like that.
Actually, do you think he needs BKB or Shiva's, the OD? Like, I feel like he needs both, but obviously he can only pick one of them.
Against an Earthshaker, I always say you pretty much need Magic Immunity, but I think it has to be a BKB. I mean, the right clicks are pretty serious, but it's not horrible. A lot of the damage he took was actually magic nukes from Dendi, so I think Magic Immunity is definitely my go-to. If he's Magic Immune, at least he can right-click these heroes. It's not like there's very many BKBs on Na'Vi either. It's just on the Shadow Fiend. So as long as he's not getting stunned, he should be able to right-click, and he's going to do some serious damage because of his sheep. Well,
he agrees with you as well. He's got an Ogre Club working towards that BKB. This is going to be a big backstab. Let's see if Na'Vi could be... well, they also smoke up. They blink to the left. And I do believe Zenith Smokes is running right about... runs out, and so this particular creep wave should see them.
Creep wave vision is not quite that high, so they haven't spotted him yet.
XY.
Puppey's going to spot him, though. Here comes. There he is. There's the bugs. Here comes the fissure to slow things down. Denny comes forward. Couple right clicks. There's the vacuum on. Only one. Funnock actually gets Ice Path. Almost gets killed. He may die from the bugs as soon as he comes out. There's the raise. Denny picks it up. Godlike streak for him. Jakiro goes down. The heroes are running. 3 dead. Tinker's trying to escape. Will they be able to vacuum anything? No PS.
Well, it doesn't matter. Na'Vi Denny getting his Godlike streak with the Daedalus on top. So forget Butterfly. Forget EB. He just wants some deeps. And he's now critting for about 650, 700. And now he's going to get this tier 2 as well. I think that's one too many teamfight defeat for Zenith. Perhaps if they just waited for a BKB on their OD, maybe they have a successful teamfight. But you see that Yamate just plays somewhat over-aggressive in that engagement. Gets fissure from the fog. And he just never really lived to see the light of day again. He was able to Astro himself, but the Braze was waiting for him when he came out.
Yeah, they didn't really have a hero. They don't really have a hero that can be up in the front. And other than Razor, of course. And maybe they should have put Ice out in the front rather than the OD. Let him eat the fissure. Let him pop BKB, disable Earthshaker, and start the fight. But it didn't work out like that. The fissure started things off, and he started off losing pretty much all of his HP. Did he right-click anything to even use his sheep? I didn't see much at all.
No. So, again, you question about Yamate being so forward in the front line. I think Zenith, if they're going to lose this game, they're probably not going to lose right about now because it'll probably give it another 10, 15 more minutes because XY is going to be able to defend against this if he doesn't get picked, right? He should always have buyback as well. Is he thinking about Dagon? Yes, he is. So there are very little BKBs on the Radiant side, so Dagon is going to be fairly effective. But at the same time, there's a pipe on Darkseer. There's a mech on Darkseer. And all of these heroes at this point are fairly tanky. I really don't think he's going to find too many effective kills.
Is it better than the sheep? Or would a sheep be better, do you think? Because I feel like their team's lacking damage. Like, they have Razor, and they have OD, and that's it.
Yeah.
They need a third source. That's not sufficient, I don't think.
I mean, I think their damage really comes from the fact that if they survive, then they will slowly dish out the damage because OD packs a punch, right? Ice, if his lightning goes on for long enough, he does a ton of damage as well. Whether he gets a link off, he's going to get his damage. So it depends on how they foresee the team fights go. If they say, all right, these team fights going to last for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, then the Dagon is going to be a lot more effective. I hope that the team fight is going to last a little bit longer for Zenith, because if the team fight lasts long, that means the Wombo combo has not killed him. That means March is doing their job. That means the Eye of Storm is doing their job. So Zenith need to slow down this game and fight slower team fights.
If they can set up the combos, it would be really good. That's for sure. Disruption into Ice Path stuff, that would be really good. So, or, you know, use their Sheep 6, something like that. Aghanim's is on the way for Razor, so slightly delayed compared to the last game, but he did pick up a mech first for that extra armor. Once he finishes this, it'll be pretty nice. It'll disable Blink Daggers, for example, if it happens to hit the right hero. They've got that to look forward to.
Well, speaking of Blink Daggers, Puppy's got one himself. We still haven't seen that Wombo combo just yet, but
oh, they're ready.
Yeah.
How many blinks do they have? 3?
3 blinks right now. 1 on Funnick, 1 on Dendy, and the last one on Puppy as well. And I guess Havos literally has a blink sort of. I mean, come on. He's got max movement speed.
They are still looking for those Tinker kills. Tinker is one of the most annoying heroes because he stops enemy pushes like this. He'll show up to the lane, he'll shift Q up a blink, and then he should be able to blink to the trees. Though, can you stop that with an Ion Shell? Would Ion Shell stop the shift Q blink off of a TP?
I think it depends on which direction Tinker is facing, because I know that there is a 0.3 seconds of damage buffer zone where you get hit by a spell, and then you could blink 0.3 seconds later. So if you're blinking in a different direction that you're not facing, then it takes too long because your hero has to turn around to blink.
Ooh, they're trying to fight bottom. Blink's ready on Puppy. Havos is going to go high ground and look at them. What is this guy's crazy, man.
It's okay. He's got Lincolns. He's got time lapse. He's not going to die to anything. So
he's got a Mithril Hammer picked up. Most likely will be a Desolator.
Yep.
That'll give him some minus armor because, you know, they don't have enough. Just Shadow Fiend and Medallion and pretty... Oh, it's actually BKB. Excuse me.
There's a bug as well. I mean, the BKB is going to allow him to go full Havos. The full dives, the full deeps, which is fine. That's good.
Dendy crits are scary, man. He's definitely going to Manta next. Picks up an Open Orb, unless it's going to be a Scotty.
And Navi's on hunting mode right now.
Could be a Scotty. No, it won't be a Scotty.
What
Maybe.
MK, Manta, it's a good sieging item, a high ground.
That is true. A little D ward here. It was with the gem and some bats, so they didn't see anybody doing that except for the bats. So maybe...
No, it is Scotty.
We'll see if they figure it out. Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
Andy going full pub mode.
Alright, cool thing about the Scotty, gives you a lot of HP. It's plus 25 strength. In that sense, it's a lot more than a Manta style. You don't get the movement speed, of course, but you still get 25% attack speed, you still get 25 damage, and your mana pool also gets better, which is actually pretty good against OD, because that means OD's ulti is going to do less to you.
It's also a very good item against BKB, because that Frost attack slow will go through it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they actually picked up this game, because generally it's an item you want against like a BKB DK or a BKB Lifestealer. I thought this game the item to get was something like a Manta for you to siege uphill. Or if you just want more HP, just get that Satanic. I mean, he's got the Daedalus to field him for the right click, but, you know, then he says, let's get a little bit of everything. That's nice.
Now creating for 1,000 with the double damage. The rest of his teammates are still pressuring the bot lane. Zenith is doing everything they can to farm, keep control.
I mean, yeah, unless XY gets caught, like, this game is going to go on for a while. And to be honest... Yeah. If there's a Dagon 5 as well as a Hex on a Tinker, who knows how the team fight goes. We're 35 minutes in, and Tinker has like less than 1,000 HP. His score is completely negative, but I don't think that's indicative of his play, just the lane that he was put into and the role that he's given on the team. As a result of, I guess, his space creating, as you could call it, Yamate's fairly fat. He's 100 away from that BKB recipe. Ice up top is 800 away from these Acceptor. So Zenith has some big item pickups. And if they don't die in the next 3-4 minutes or so, they might get enough momentum and items back in the game such that they could maybe win a team fight.
And Zenith is trying to defend some more. Navi's in position to dive mid, but I don't think they'll run right through this. They will push some of the creeps out, and Ice is going to do the same. They are losing a lot of EXP per minute, though. As you guys can see, Dendy is just farming currently. He's going to actually block himself in trees, so we'll just watch him for a little bit here.
He's got to wait for that blink
still
too.
Get last hits.
Like a pro. There you go.
There they are, guys. Snowballs.
Oh, raise it. Oh, Dendy!
Dendy, no.
Dendy blinks into more trees. Oh, Dendy.
The other team has no idea what this is about.
All right, vacuum. There you go. Thanks,
Funnick's going to help him out.
All right.
Poor Dendy.
By the way, Funnick's going for the wall as well, or Acceptor upgrade on his wall.
It's about halfway there. Pretty good.
Yeah. big item pickup here. Kuroki is going to pick up a Ghost Scepter himself. Yeah, these are just, some token items for Na'Vi. I think the big thing they're waiting for is perhaps... I don't think they're waiting particularly for any item. They just want to see an opportunity to pick off that damn Tinker and go for the win.
Yeah, that's the hero they need to stop. Nobody else is going to be able to clear the creep wave so easily. I mean, I guess except for Jakiro and Razor and I guess those two, but they need to pick one. If you pick one, you have a pretty easy guaranteed teamfight win. Or you can do this. You can just say, okay, well, we'll just take Roshan. If we take Roshan, then we should have 6 hypothetical heroes. We'll put the Aegis on somebody that's really crazy and aggressive. It might be Dendi. It might be Havos. It's hard to say with his BKB now.
I mean, to be completely honest, if you give it to Dendi or probably Havos, just one of these heroes basically run in and just draw the first barrage of spells from Zenith. And what are you going to do with the spells on cooldown? The rest of Na'Vi could just run it up. That's like the brute force way they could do it. Or they could, just finesse their way in with the blinks and see how things go. But they're looking for a pickoff, and Yamate right now is on an island by himself. He's got to be very careful. At the same time, I'm very surprised that our Tinker is actually upgrading the Dagon. I think that he is the one hero that's holding them together right now. If he dies in a team fight, that's it. He gets Fissure up front. No Blink Dagger coming just yet. Havos gains a lot of HP back. There's a Blink Vacuum up front. But again, nothing really pushing them in right now.
Great pipe to keep everybody's HP up. Mech comes through as well, and still very little damage done to the tower here.
Yeah, I think Zenith held, at least for the next minute or so, because Pipe has a long cooldown. Dendi forced the TP on the bot lane, so that was skeptical play from Na'Vi. And I just noticed that Zenith has 4 pennants, and Na'Vi has 137. What's going on? All right, Dota 2's bugged.
There they are. They accelerated.
All right.
3,000.
Okay, and now
Zenith
have more than 4. Okay, good.
Guys, go buy more Zenith pennants. What are you doing?
Yes. Although I guess these numbers are now rapidly climbing back up.
I like how Navi's is just a fist. It's like we're going to punch you in the face. So it's nothing to do with our logo, but except for the colors.
When you think of Na'Vi, do you think of a fist punching you in the face?
Oh, yeah. I have bad memories from TI2. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, did they punch you in the face?
Maybe.
Okay. Well, that's Purge story time for another day, unless it's out there and I don't know about it. Ice, by the way, has access. The entire Zenith team is playing YOLO mode because none of them has buyback, but they're playing as if they have buyback. They're like always in the front line. I'm talking about Yamate, who just got Echo Slam up top. He does have buyback. He's got the Force. He's got the BKB. He's gonna go fight right now, but well, he's got a little bit of help. Where's the ultimate TP out? But oh, he's got the buyback, and now XY, he doesn't have the buyback. Where's your Blink? He blinks back out. He gets seen the Fissure is going to get him, right? Where's the Fissure?
Oh,
the Fissure. And XY's dead, and he definitely does not have buyback. They're in big trouble.
That is exactly what they needed. They finally got some kills here. A little unfortunate for Yamate that he was at that point in the map because he tried to force down and normally go a lot farther, but he probably stopped here and got pushed back up, which happened to be within range for the Weaver. So little unlucky for him there that his TP didn't work out.
No,
so
he actually doesn't have the buyback. He's short like 40 gold, and I don't think he's going to get his 40 gold unless somebody can get a tier 1 tower somewhere. And now Navi's going to have about 40 seconds to push in. I mean, again, when you don't have buyback, there's no way you could be out that far. And I think Navi's going to get themselves a free win, basically, now.
Free win is a very strong term.
I mean, in theory, Zenith could have stalled out the game for a long, long time, but Ice gets Blink on the high ground. Nice defensively disrupt, and here is the Requiem on Ice. Pops up BKB. They're still surviving, and Havos is just going on the front, doing all sorts of damage. Ice is going to get picked off as well, and that's your 4-man team wipe.
And that is the Onion sound that you guys have been waiting for. Na'Vi has not dropped a kill in a very, very long time, and now they're finally going to get the mid-racks. The missiles come through. The pipe is dropped as well. That's going to stop all of the plasma field, excuse me. And here comes the march. Hurting quite a bit. There's the surge, and the mid-racks goes down. OD has respawned. Will they be able to clean anybody up? Havos actually still wants to fight. Who's he going to choose? It's going to be, there's the vacuum. Great Fissure. Can they cast more? Enchant Totem catches one. Tinker goes down. Yamata goes down. Ice trading hits with Dendi, but the crit is way too much here, and 5 are dead again, only losing the 2 support heroes.
Dendi, by the way, has minus 112 damage right now.
Oh my gosh.
And it doesn't even feel like it because he is just hitting so much harder than anybody else. Minus armor is OP.
Yeah, man. That's a moment where Daryl just throws his arms up in the air and says, okay, guys, I think we lost. I can't beat Dendi, even if I sap a large percentage of his damage output. There's a macro pyre, actually. Havos says, whatever, I've got my ulti. He's going to put a couple attacks in. There's a time lapse, full HP.
Yep, and meanwhile, Dendi just cleaned up against Raxus. GG not being called out just yet, but Zenith just holding on, but I don't know what magical teamfight they're praying for. but they're losing real estate very rapidly right now.
So the Radiant team buying everything in the shop, essentially. It's going to be a Satanic up next for Dendi. He might die. No, he just really wants to kill all these buildings. Poor Ziggurats, man.
I mean, they give you gold. He's working on that GPM. I mean, let's remind ourselves how this game started. It was a laning situation where Dendi just got really brutalized on the CS. We saw Havos in the mid game just create a lot of space, and that's really ironic, right? Generally, your 1-row player gets benefited from the space that his 2 to 5-row players create space for. He's creating space for his team, and that's just impressive to think about in itself. And to be honest, Havos is a person that really won Navi this game. Blink forward here, Fissure backing backward, X Freedom. Well, still alive. Impressive play so far. Havos just going in. He just doesn't care at this point.
His Aegis is gone, by the way.
I mean, he's okay. He's really okay.
He's running away now.
Yep.
Space creator, man.
Still creating space. 42 minutes in the game.
Items coming for Funnick. This is a butterfly. Most likely going to be for Weaver. This is actually a really good late game item like this. A ton of evasion, tons of survivability, and a lot of attack speed. 60 damage doesn't hurt either. Fortunately, the Curry has to go all the way back for the Satanic recipe. No. We need the smoke first. Then we'll send it back for the Satanic, and then Dendi can get a full heal, guys.
All right, okay. That's cool.
I'm sure I'd be so mad. I'd be like, guys, just put my Satanic recipe on the courier before you bring it.
But then he's going to go back to the base anyways. He might as well just sell treads and get BOTs. And be like,
sells boots and get a rapier or something. That
maybe
sounds good.
that's a little bit too much.
I don't know.
But again, I mean, right now you can see that Zenith is down 2 Raxes. They're still holding on to this game, and that's really the power of Tinker. They're not typing out GG just yet, despite the massive deficit. There's 30K now, and somebody's compendium prediction, mine, is going to lose if Navi wins. I hope that Zenith wins a big team fight and bring it down to like 29 because, oh god, guys. Tinker farm.
It's happening.
Get some team fight victory,
Hurry.
please.
Kill the Moonwells or the towers. Towers are probably your best bet. There's a lot of gold in those, but I just...
what did you have for yours in the under 30? Under 30 or over 30?
I think I said over.
Okay.
That would make sense to me now. I would have to check. I don't... Let's just pause this game. Let me go check my compendium, guys. It's really important.
Which, by the way, shout out to the compendiums because we're up to $2.8 million now.
Ooh.
As everybody over the interwebs is supporting.
And we'll see an initiation any moment now. Havos going to take one Dagon. Tower goes down. So, just March. I mean, I would definitely take March spam over a tower any day, though. Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, well, here comes the pipe up on the high ground. They are just going for the racks right now. Blink. Oh, burst of BKB. Somebody just melted. That's a Shadow Demon. Then he's just right-clicking away. Ice doesn't do anything at all, but Yamate gets 1 kill. And now the BKB is run out, and Yamate gotta really get the damage up.
Satanic.
Oh,
there it is. Uses Satanic. Takes them out. Couple right-clicks on creeps, and there's the full heal.
And
GG is finally called here. Let's take a look at the graph. It is definitely over 30,000.
No!
I am so sorry. Navi takes the game 1 versus Zenith. Pretty commanding. They had some outlanes, potential ones at least. Shadow Fiend versus OD. Dendi ends up just spending the entire early game bottle crowing in the first 2 camps, the small camp and the large camp. And Havos created so much space for the rest of the game that Dendi never got ganked in the jungle. The offlane Darkseer did relatively well. I mean, the early game MVP easily Havos.
I really want to give a big shout out to Dendi as well, because a lot of players, once you are so rattled by the laning stage, even if you get your items, you just aren't productive.
Yeah.
But he got his blink, and immediately he was blinking Requiem, despite just having boots. He was just going in, right? So
boots, bottle, blink.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Just impressive in its own right as well. So Navi, a very impressive victory over Zenith, but don't count Zenith out just yet. They had some moments in the early game where it made it look a little bit scary for Navi. So
yeah. I mean, some of the fights went kind of okay. OD blew up Earthshaker at one point. The kill score is actually pretty close, 34-20. It doesn't really show how behind they were in gold, but that was mostly because Navi had the pressure on most of the game. The Tinker got his bots up so late that they couldn't even get the map control. Like, him expanding still left only a quarter of the map for them to farm. Tops. Most of the time, they were almost all in their base.
And Navi was farming their own jungle, the Radiant jungle, the Dire jungle, basically every single lane. Everybody got so fat. But let's hand it back to the table where we usually say, what does LD and Merlini think? But I don't know where LDZ's at. But Merlini.
Yep, it's just me this time. So they're bringing back some very old elements with Shadow Fiend and Earthshaker.
That's nice.
And OD actually does not. I mean, Shadow Fiend does decently versus Obsidian Destroyer, Outworld Devourer, whatever his name is, because he's not that reliant on his mana. It's only 75 mana on raise, and if you get low on int, you can just like bottle up, and then once all your int comes back up, you can use like one bottle charge to refill like 300 mana. It's actually kind of cool, and he can like push out the wave, and he can still farm neutrals and stuff, and he has a lot of right click potential later. And BKB absolutely destroys Outworld Devour if you can farm it. And Shadow Fiend is actually one of the better heroes at farming from a deficit. So I think that it's a decent counter. It's not like a great counter, but OD really shines in the laning phase, but Shadow Fiend can kind of get past that with the mid to late game. And Denny played a fantastic one. The Blink Rush was actually pretty awesome.
Is this the hero that beats OD? Because everybody's.
I wouldn't say it doesn't beat him, but it works well enough in the mid game. OD will win in the lane, but you will win in the mid game because the BKB rush is a natural progression on him, and he can catch up and farm outside of the lane very easily. If you get zoned out, you can just farm neutrals almost as fast as the lane, and OD's going to get free farm anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much, and you're less susceptible to ganks. So also the Shaker I think was pretty cool too. They paired it well with the Darkseer, I believe, and it was just it's more old school stuff. So I like how they're bringing more elements back, and they played it pretty well. It looked like Zenith was like doing decently in the early game, but just way too much off. Our Denny was just hitting like a truck. I like the Scotty build too. Just a lot of HP. You can't focus him down during BKB when he has a Scotty.
Yeah, during the last team fight where Yamate got the Hex off against Dendy, Dendy in Piglet form was running towards Yamate and be like,
come at me.
Yeah, and then after it was over, he turned on Satanic.
I like it too because you can also go HOD as well if you feel like you need armor or lifesteal, and I mean, you do so much damage without any items. You have so much damage from the 70 damage from the souls, -6 armor. You don't really need damage items unless you just want to be a glass cannon. But you want to be able to stand inside the march, tank an OD ult if possible. You have stats to try to mitigate some of the damage from Sanity's Eclipse. It's just a pretty good item overall. I like the old school build, and I like the new heroes. More new heroes. Yeah, you're going to lose a lot of compendium predictions, by the way, Lumi.
Did we break a lot of records? Was there anything else that we missed?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a compendium that says who's going to get the most ultra kill in a single game. I don't know who I put for that.
Dendy?
Dendy, did he get an ultra kill this game?
I believe so.
How about like most ultra kills with just brown boots? That should be a stat, I think. I think Dendy's winning that.
I would put 0, right? Nobody would do that, but
it's like, no, not possible.
Yeah. I mean, you can blow people up into like a fissure stun, which we saw a couple of times too. That's the ridiculous damage output of Shadow Fiend.
So Purge, any closing point before we take a quick break for game 2?
No, I guess we're right on track for our predictions here. Zenith having some trouble. Great play out of Havost, mostly. Good job to you. I know you're not watching.
Oh yeah, Havost. He's redefining the carry role.
BTS is approving the 4 Havost.
Dude, he's not even a carry player. He's the space creator.
He is the space creator.
He's like a 1.5.
He's playing that support role again. Damn.
No. He's like 1.5 hero role. It's like in between the 1 and 2. 2 is a space creator. 1 is carry. He's like doesn't really fit into either. It's kind of cool.
Okay.
The hero fit him.
Well, we're going to be back for game number 2 momentarily. Thank you guys for joining us. We're going to take a quick break, and for Zenith and Navi, that's going to be coming up next.